What's good, y'all? We back in the building. If you don't know him already, we in with your boy ROWLAN.
She wanna leave, she want me parting the seas. Told her I'm busy as bees, you talking to me. Said that I'm down, but I never make time, so I guess I'm a tease. Told her say please, she in Atlanta, but soon I'ma fly and bring it to me. Hand her the keys, tell her to drive it like we in some trouble in front of police. You should've known, even 2 calls will just never get through. D&D God, she think I'm petty and it's a facade. Said bring a friend and let's have a menage. Think that I'm player, I get that a lie. Just for the night and then maybe tomorrow. And shoot him a call so you never get caught. Go. She want the dinner with steak. She want a big estate. She get that bread with a cake. Probably make more than I make. She wanna go on a date and tell me how long it'll take.
Out of here,
She
bro.
said be patient, but by how she acting, she ain't gonna wait. She want the dinner with steak. She want a big estate. She get that bread with a cake. Probably make more than I make. She wanna go on a date and tell me how long it'll take. She said be patient, but by how she acting, she ain't gonna wait. I can tell she getting tired of playing with toys. She know I can.
That's that upcoming heat, bro, finna come with, bro.
Appreciate you.
Who made the beat, bro?
Appreciate you. It's this dude, Mad Rhino. He's actually real dope. MAAD and then Rhino.
Boy, that...
Yeah, I did the chops and a little bit of that stuff.
Oh,
but he
you
made
did the
beat.
chops.
I did like the cutouts and like the fade outs, but he did the whole beat without me.
So you do a little producing, too.
Oh, I've been a lot of producing.
A lot of... He like, bro, you better put some respect on my name, bro.
No,
I do a lot of producing,
I
bro.
swear to God, bro, I've been producing more than I've been
quick.
rapping lately, bro. I've been
For
doing a lot
real?
of production, yeah.
Okay, before we get going too much, we in here with ROWLAN. Please, man. First things first, bro. Thank you for coming on the platform,
Hey,
bro.
thank you for having me, bro.
Of course. We had to make it work.
Yeah.
We had to make it work. Finally made it work. So I want you to tell the audience where you're from, man.
So originally, I'm from Massachusetts, a small town all over Massachusetts, really, but originally from a place called Dennis, Massachusetts, Harwich, Massachusetts, Yarmouth, Massachusetts, and Taunton and Brockton, and just all over, really. So that's where I'm from, Massachusetts, the East Coast.
You from the whole Massachusetts.
From the whole place, yeah. Every area.
You run Massachusetts.
Facts.
That's what I'm hearing.
Facts.
So what was it like for you growing up out there, bro?
It was cold during the winter times, and it was good, man. It just taught me a real harsh grind, a real honest background. Like it's not really about making connections out there. It's about just you about to be real with people, and I think that benefited me a lot later in my career. So happy to be from where I'm from.
For sure. So growing up, what type of kid were you, bro? Like when you pull up to the school, how are people greeting you? Like what are you doing on your day to day? Like what type of kid were you?
I was one of the poorer people where I was from and shit. So for me, I was kind of like the bad kid. My older brother had been arrested for his whole life since we were young.
Okay.
So like we were the house that kids couldn't come to. But when I pulled up, I was a pretty happy individual, and I always just try to be like class clown type energy in school and shit. So I was that person, I did a lot of biking, a lot of basketball growing up. That's kind of it though.
Yeah.
So
So when did the music come into play?
I would say
You making music. Obviously, you've been influenced by music your whole life. But
yeah, my mom actually tells these crazy stories to me, and I don't know if they're true or not, but she basically be like, I remember when you were in 5th grade and you knew you wanted to be a rapper. And I'm like, I didn't think I was I was always obsessed with hip hop, and I always like grew up on it and helped me through a lot of shit. But when my mom tells me that, I'm like, I don't remember being even the type of motherfucker that might rap someday. So I was like, I don't know if she's lying or she's telling the truth. I'm going to give it to her and say she's telling the truth, because other people also claim that in my past. I'm like, I don't know how much is made up, but people be like, you claimed you were going to be a rapper and you did it. And then I'm like, I don't remember ever claiming that at this point in my life, but you know what? I'll take it.
Take that.
So music really came into play like freshman year of high school. I was recording on my iPod Touch over a bunch of fucking old 50 Cent instrumentals and shit.
Time out, bro. Did you just say you were recording on your iPod Touch?
Yeah, that's how it started. We just played beat instrumentals on iTunes and just iPod Touch. It was actually my homie Brandon's, my former manager. It was his iPod Touch, and we used to just put 50 Cent beats on blanks and just rap over it on the iPod Touch. Auto-tune to the max once we learned how to import it to GarageBand. This shit was sickening. But yeah, that's how it really came about. Probably like 8th grade, freshman year-ish.
And when you started rapping,
Yeah.
did you get family support?
I only really have my mom for sure, but in general, I think I didn't have support from anyone besides my mom, who's dead ass ready to be delusional about anything when it comes to supporting me. She'd be like, "You got it, honey. You was going to the NBA, I swear." And
Hey,
I'm
that's
like,
what moms are for.
No, that's
what moms
facts.
are
That's
for.
facts. So she always believed in me, and I think my older sister, who kind of gave me all my influence musically from an early age, I think she was in big support. But I commend them for being supportive, because at that time of my career, I was so fucking bad. It was just like literally, it was bricks on bricks on bricks. It was just it was the worst flow. I always had some material to talk about, but it was so fucking bad. If I heard that kid, I'd be like, bro, like maybe think about like, college or something. Like,
Think about college.
like yeah, but in general, yeah, like ninth grade ish is when it really started going.
Okay. And then, so when you started, obviously you're starting to mess around with it. You starting to put things into GarageBand.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start to say like, I'm doing this? Like this is what I'm gonna go for in my career.
Yeah, I think when I was like 16 or 17, I went to like four different high schools for all different years, and I think that helped me kind of establish my fan base. You know, like what were you gonna say?
I got such a. I didn't want to cut you off, but bro, what do you just keep throwing stuff out there so calm and cool? Like you went to 4 different high schools. Why,
Yeah.
We got to get into that too.
All right, well, I'm down, but I think that helped me with like really taking my shit serious. I moved to a new school and shit. A bunch of traumatic shit happened with all my good friends at the time robbing me, like robbing my house for all my music equipment and shit. And then me also being the new kid at school. And then they were like, hey, this boy is snitch. And I never talked to a cop and no one got arrested. And then they were like, sorry, he's not a snitch. And then just like that whole shit sparked. It's me against everyone I've ever done music with. It's go time. And I just got my little old Windows computer that I had because I got robbed from my MacBook, which fairly enough I robbed somebody for. So it is what it is. But in general, when that happened, I'm like, karma got me. Now I get back on my Microsoft computer and then I just start recording like a motherfucker. I start every day. That's all I do. I lock myself in my house and just record. So
yeah,
that's kind of what really sparked the gotta go get it. It's that time,
Yeah, no, that's crazy, bro. You got robbed by all your friends for all your music equipment.
Yeah.
Let's take a couple steps back. So when you say like, cause then you threw out super calm too, like I actually robbed somebody for that joint, so it's karma. So like,
Hey.
so hold on, I got a few questions.
Okay.
I got a few questions. So like, obviously I asked you what type of kid you were. Maybe you didn't say everything, but. So when did you start getting into those types of things?
Like what, getting robbed or robbing
No,
people?
like when you, so like when you were like, I'm gonna walk, cause I mean, I was kind of like that kid too. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got a similar story, at least what you said so far. I was a kid too, I might have robbed somebody for a computer, or a few things at a certain point.
Yeah.
But like, what made you be like, I'm gonna go outside and today I'm gonna take something from somebody?
we've always been very like on the lower end since I've been born. I guess my older sister and older brother grew up with some money in their life because my mom was at a different place when she had them. I'm the youngest. New dad, like I'm the only one with a different dad, and I think that our life just was because he left when I was like 3 to 5, somewhere in there. He left my life completely, so it was just up to my mom to make money, and I think that ever since that point we were just very poor. So I think stealing was obviously a means of like survival. Like
To
it
wasn't like I'm going and go. It was just like, bro, I'm hungry. I gotta.
No, for
I'm about
sure.
to go get some food, bro.
Yeah, it's survival. It's survival for sure. I mean, yeah. Without getting into details, the intention wasn't to steal that though. The MacBook.
Okay.
The person I was doing it with was like, "Don't take it, please don't take it," and I'm like, "I'm taking it. I gotta take it." And then I sound like I'm incriminating myself. Nah, this is over 10 years ago. We in a better place.
Yeah, we changed our lives.
Changed my life. Jesus,
You're living your
saved me.
truth. You're living your truth.
Yo, no, that's facts though.
Okay, so getting off of that, okay, you get a couple run-ins. What happened with your friend group? You don't have to get into anything you don't want to, but what happened with your friend group to make, obviously, those events occur?
So I don't even think it was I was actually mixing motherfuckers for free, letting people come over for free. I was the only one with a car. I had a little beat up little Trailblazer, and it wasn't registered or anything, but I was the only one with a car. So literally, I got asked to bring them across town, and long story short, a person around me, a person that lived near me, part of the family, while I was bringing them, robbed my house for everything out the back window. And I just, it was a whole thing. But, and we're on, I honestly forgave them pretty much after my music started popping. I was like, yo, I forgive them. I'm not going to hold any resentment towards them. And I understand we were young. It is what it is, da-da-da. And fucking.
You bigger than me?
And then, and then fucking, yeah, and come full circle, like, they all apologize. Like, whoever was involved heavily.
They all apologized?
Yeah.
They're like, damn,
but
bro,
no,
you
but
done
and
blew up.
honestly, I have no blood. No. It was after I've already done good.
My bad.
No. I like them as people, but it was just like a crazy turning point in my career for sure. And you know what? They're super heavily forgiven. I'm not even. I have no resentment. Those are, I'm in support of whatever they're trying to do. It has nothing to do with me, and I helped how I could, and we on good terms, But in general, it was definitely a career and mental flicking moment in my life. I was like, okay, I understand how life can go. I understand how I need to move. I understand what I need to do to get to success, all that shit.
So once you got, all that stuff was taken, you said you got your windows, now you locked in.
Yeah, just every single
What was
day.
the process like? Were you just like, okay, yo, I'm just going to drop every day? Am I going to drop freestyles? What was the process for you?
Yeah, it was more like, I was basically like, when it happened, I was just like, let me lock myself in my room. I'll start making beats. I'll make an EP. I'll make an LP, whatever. I just started making fucking a bunch of music and threw a couple shots and shit, diss tracks, but it was nothing too crazy. And I was just like, I got to do it. And then that's when I moved out of the hometown that I'm from. And I was just like, I got to go get it somewhere else. So I moved to the city, Taunton, and then Brockton, or Brockton and then Taunton. And then at 22, I think it was, I was just like, I got to make the move to LA. And that really elevated, where I was going and shit. So
at 22, you said?
Yeah, 21 to 22, yeah.
And then 21, what year was this?
This was like 2000 and maybe 14, 15.
2014, 15.
Yeah, 14, 15.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Okay. And I have to bring up in general, if you guys don't know, please go check out his music. The man's been getting that's 6-figure streams, over 100K for 10 years plus.
Yeah.
10 years plus. Like, bro, checking out your catalog, bro, I was just like, what is going on right now? Like, what is going on?
I appreciate it.
I was doing what you was doing in the beginning. Like, I just had to keep scrolling.
Yeah, I swear, bro. I swear.
It's wild. So I noticed, like, going through your music, like, you had this time, if I did the math right, it would be like 2016, 2017, where you just went on like a crazy run. Where it just looked like you were dropping a lot of content, but also all of them were like catching traction.
Yeah.
Like, at least from what I saw, it was like every single one.
Uh-huh.
So like what motivated you to do that? Because to me, it just looked like you were just pushing songs out.
I was, yeah. I think it was a good part of my life to be able to write music in, and I was realizing that, like, for me personally, I just felt like I had a lot to write about. I had such a new fire under me. I caught traction from a couple different places randomly. It just felt like the fuel was really there. So I'm like, hey, I got to just capitalize on this. And I thought that, or it was easier to, I guess, basically come up with content that was able to be successful algorithmically. And I think at that point, maybe not, but around that time, it was still like, I had a lot of followers on Instagram because it was a time where it was in chronological order. So if you were able to keep up with content and post a lot and the algorithm was doing, you could capitalize on everything. And then I got shouted out by a bunch of fucking social media, just enthusiasts, people who are just all over this shit and in everybody's inbox and in everybody's feed. I got shouted out by a couple of them, and that helped the traction like a motherfucker too. So I think it was that, and it was just, it was a time I was like so inspired by all the newfound success and all the new feelings that I was going through,
So what was the first moment where you did notice you were starting to get some traction?
The first moment, I dropped this Nikes on My Feet by Mac Miller. I dropped a remix of that, and that shit went crazy. It did really well on all the streaming platforms. A bunch of like sneakerheads picked it up because it's called Nikes on My Feet. Yeah. It's like a new version. My boy Sneakerhead in the Bay helped me promote it like a motherfucker. A lot of people were just finding me. My boy Paul from back home, he owned this thing called Hits Blunts. And it's like when you hit the blunt and start thinking, it was a huge meme page like 8 to 10 years ago. And he would give me like shout outs to 1 million or 2 million people with my new Nikes on my feet video for $15 a post. And I was just, and this is when shit was chronological. So given a lot of that traffic has fallen off since because they're users from fucking over 10 years ago. So a lot of it's fallen off, but a lot of the early found success was from people who found me through that video because I was just dumping money into the shit. I was like, bro, I'm going to send you another 15, another 15, another 15. He posts some like 30 to an hour apart, whatever you want, and it was just going crazy. Like, and this is chronological order to 2 million people. That's crazy reach.
Yeah.
So that was like the first real hiccup that I started catching traction on. So I capitalized on that for a minute. Probably spent like 12 grand into posts on that shit. Somewhere around there.
I'm not good at math, bro, but that's a lot of $15 posts.
It was a lot of $15 posts. Yeah.
Damn.
But it was over the course of a couple years, and there was other accounts that came through his who I would also post. So like because his Blunts is such a big account, he'd have two pages with another 2 million. Be like, hey, if you want to run on mine as a friend of his, boom, 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 boom. I was just flooding, bro, just flooding.
So I want to pause right here for a second because that's a lot of game for artists out here.
Yeah,
like a lot of game for artists out here. Because a lot of people, they might be focusing on recording, they might be focusing on writing. Maybe they're posting every day on their page, but they're not investing into marketing. That's hugely, like, yo, that shit made such a huge difference in my career. However, I'll say that it's much harder to even find that legitimate of a potential reach nowadays. Like back in the day, chronological order to 2 million people is way, way fucking better and likely chances than even 60 million follower account and posting at the wrong time of day. He could reach like 600 people. You know, like algorithms are much harder to read than they once were and shit. So yeah. Instagram, y'all gotta fix that.
Yo, I wish if we went back to chronological, if they weren't making so much fucking money off this, they would absolutely go back to that. But they're not gonna do that. They're gonna keep robbing us for our reach. Absolutely. They know we'll pay for it eventually if we're a business of any sort.
Exactly. I don't want to get too far off your story, bro, but that's a good point. I was just looking into this today. I saw a cool little video, and it's like everybody's putting a business on social media, but they forget social media is a business.
100%. That's the biggest thing. They gave us a little free, like, here's what it could be like if you pay us enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave us a teaser of what the fuck we might be able to reach with social media.
That's crazy. So staying on this a little bit, what do you think about putting things out onto DSPs and everything like that? Because obviously, there's that argument nowadays to where back in the day, obviously, if, record deals or whatever may have been messed up, but if it's independently, like someone like Master P, you're going to get whatever, $10 or however much you sold your record for.
Yeah.
You're going to get 10, 12 for your art or however much. Or even someone like Nipsey charges like 100, right? But now if you put them on DSPs, it might be like $1.29.
Yeah.
99 cents. What's your perspective on that?
I think as somebody who personally is so loyal to somebody like Spotify, or if I like Apple Music at the time, so loyal to Apple Music, it makes a difference for us to be saved with this many other artists, because me personally, I play for my likes, and chances of me going back to my phone just because I purchased it over when I'm already, no matter what, probably going to pay for streaming services. I'm just like, it's night and day. It's fucking, the loyalty of having streaming services means something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for me, it does. I'm like, if you have the people who are going to play you with all the rest of their music, and I'm sorry. If they're gonna play you with the rest of their music at all times on that, I'm like, yo, it's worth it. You're gonna be forever in their mind. The attention's worth more when it comes to the fact that you'll probably get to reach them with when you are going touring because they're streaming your shit. So the ROI of having somebody on like an active streaming platform that will update them with what you're doing, this, that, and everything else. When your merch drops, like Spotify allows you to do that. I'm like, that trade-off itself is probably worth it. Fuck this current only dollar that I'm going to get. I'd rather have them for long-term and have them keep me in rotation with the rest of everything else.
Hey, bro, just stomped on that argument. It's
Swear.
over with. It's over with.
Swear, bro. Swear.
I love that, bro. People need to hear that. I've never even heard that side.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad I can shed light on it. That's actually how I feel.
Yeah, no, that's game. That's game. So let's get back onto your personal music. I noticed now this is just a personal question for me after looking at your songs. Bro,
Yeah.
now that record that you have with Miss Chloe Bailey, is that
Oh,
you know I gotta
Faith
ask.
in Me.
I don't think that's the name of the record, but that's how the hook goes.
It's called Faith in Me.
Chloe Bailey and Dustin
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah, now that's not the famous Chloe.
Bro, when I was looking, I was like,
Yo, imagine. No, it's not her. It's
I'm
not,
like looking, I'm
Yo,
because I'm
I'd be
looking up,
running that shit up.
bro. I'm looking
running
up
that
Chloe Bailey, and I'm like,
Wow, the tone actually could be mistaken
bro,
too.
because
Wow.
I was literally doing a reference.
Wow, that's
like,
a trip. Yeah, I've never gotten that, but no, that's
Like,
not that. That's not that. That's a
that
random,
might be like,
That's a random girl who my boy Dustin Hill knows that was dropping music before this was even a thing like that. So like before she was like popping like that, but that's not her. Yo, if that was her, I'd be running that record up for sure. That record would probably run itself up actually.
yeah, no, it's a dope record. It's a
Yeah,
dope record.
yeah,
Definitely
thank
had it
you,
on
bro.
repeat
Thank
for
you.
sure, for sure.
I appreciate that. No, it's definitely a cool record. That one actually came about because the homie Dustin already had the song called Faith in Me. I'm like, yo, can I put 2 verses of my own and drop it as a, both of us main artists? And he's like, let's go, let's do it. So
That's hard. That's hard. I have to ask you too about your artwork during that time.
yeah.
Because you went really consistent, and just because obviously doing research with yours and then research that I've done in the past, I have to ask, like, were you inspired by Russ at all?
Hell yeah.
Bro, because I was just
Hell
like,
yeah, and
there
I was
has
just
to
like-
be. I was kind of scared to ask right now because I was like, dang, what if it's the same thing like the Chloe Bailey joint? But nah, you were definitely inspired
I
by
was
Russ.
absolutely inspired by Russ. I was like, I'm the graphic artist on all my shit though, and I was like, you know what?
Get outta here.
Yeah, I'm the illustrator on all my stuff.
So you produce, you write, you record, you drop it,
Mix
and you
Master.
mix it. You
album art.
I don't got no fingers.
But it's all that for real.
That's crazy.
But I was just like, let me try to do like a more detailed version of Rush's shit because it gave me a great fucking. It gave me a great idea. I'm like, even if my fans aren't reaching his fans, it's a cool, consistent, easy theme. And I was like, how can I make it a little bit more complicated? How can I do it my own way? How can I, separate? But absolutely inspired. Kind of there was a lot of us dropping at that time once a week, essentially once a week. And everybody found a theme. And it was kind of off the strength of how Russ was dropping weekly. Like there was a huge group of artists just dropping weekly since then. And we all kind of found our own weekly theme just because it's like a lot harder to create a brand new concept every single week. So yeah, I definitely got inspired by Russ for sure.
So what, in your opinion, like during that time when you start to get traction with all these different tracks, with all these different records, that sounded crazy, traction and tracks, but when you start getting traction with all these different records, for you, what was your like take on it? Not just like feeling the love, but just like, what do you think made you stand out as an artist? Because obviously your fans, you know what I'm saying? Other people, other blogs going to have their own opinion, but I'd like to hear from you. Like, what do you think made you stand out?
I think a lot of it had to do with what I would talk about. It was a little bit more substance than a lot of the people who were also dropping simultaneously. And I think it's just part of the story. I had a lot of like real shit to talk about, shit that could potentially help save people's lives. So I think people forever connect with those type of records. And then I also think, I think it was just a tonal thing. I think that people understood that like I kind of knew my lane. I kind of knew what the purpose was, all that shit. So I think honestly a lot of it comes down to substance and tonality. And then just, of course, the story that I was going through and how good I've always been at directly connecting to fans. Like I've been answering DMs for over 10 years now, pretty much every DM I ever get. So,
hey, anybody out there, shoot him a DM. He gonna respond.
Hey, it might give me like 2 to 3 business weeks, but yeah.
2 to 3 business
I
weeks.
swear to God, that's how my inbox is with text too. Anybody who knows me be like, I'll probably get a response back 2 days later. I'm just not good on my phone. Truth, Okello. Yeah, that shit. I swear, and I'm not even. It's not
Bro,
even
like
on
it took me
purpose.
2 days just to see if I could pull up here.
I swear to God, I swear to God. But no, for real, I'm really bad at cellular communication, but I'm also someone who on the opposite end is just extremely present with whoever I'm with. Like at the time, I'm just there. Nobody's like, is he on his phone? Is he doing? No, like no, I'm in the conversation. I'm
right
around
here in the
people. I'm in the room. I'm giving eye contact. I'm doing what I need to do in the room. I'm not worried about what's on this. I call myself. I don't call myself. I claim it in the song. I said D&D God. Because there's nothing you could do to get through to my lock screen. Like, literally, you could call me 6 times in a row and be in my favorites. Nothing can get through to my lock screen. And most times, my lock screen ain't even showing. It's like this. No vibration, no nothing. It's hard to... And I be hiding from my inbox and my text, so...
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get you a manager.
We gonna get... Yo, facts.
We're going to get you a manager.
Yeah.
They're going to handle that.
It's so much personal shit, though, that it's like, how would a manager even handle this, you know? So many personal texts, so many personal communications, you know? It's all that.
You need a homie that's a buffer.
Facts.
That's the best.
Facts,
Not a
yo.
manager.
No.
You need a homie that'll just look over
Juan,
these joints.
No, not even get dark. My boy Juan, who passed away last year, that was him. That boy could actually be like, hey, do here.
And do it for you. Handle it.
Do it for me, yeah.
That's hard. That's hard. Since you brought it up, bro, obviously with as much respect to the situation as I can have, actually, let me just let you go into it. With that, who was Juan to you? Obviously, we'll get into what happened, but who was that? Who was he to you?
Yeah, he'd be mad that you said Juan.
Oh man! Oh man!
Because hey,
my apologies.
He was raised by his like black grandfather, and he never learned his Spanish side at all. So he was like, yo, this man was a Dominican cat, but raised by his black grandfather. So, yo, he was like, you wouldn't even have known. He acted like an old black dude, everything. Like, he'd be like, yo.
An old black dude
Jesus,
at that.
I swear to God, like an old, I promise you, the verbiage of what he would say, it was just crazy. He'd be like, oh, golly. Oh, damn. I'm like, Juan, what the fuck is oh, golly? It was just like... Wowzers, like there's just weird terminology that only this motherfucker ever. He used to look at his phone. Bro. He used to look at his phone like this. This motherfucker was 29 when he passed. He used to look at his phone like this. He's like, oh jeez, oh yeah, over the top of his glasses. I'm like, yo, this is an old ass man. He used to say this religiously. Oh boy. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, how old are you, bro? Yo, how old of a... Come on. That boy was literally...
Bro was a character.
God, the biggest character.
Bro was a character.
Biggest character. He didn't know how to use technology, nothing. He's like, you think you could Uber eat something for me and I'll give you cash? I'm like...
I'll give you cash.
Bro, you need to learn how to do this for yourself. He's like, I don't. I'm good. He's like, yo, can you order something for me on Amazon? I'm like, bro, why? Like, use my account. He's like, I don't know how to do it. You do it. I'm like... It was literally that boy. I
got the bread, but I ain't got the tech skills. Exactly. I got the bread though.
Exactly. You know how to order on Domino's app? I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, you not that old. You younger than me, actually. What the fuck?
He said you younger than me, bro.
I'm like, yeah, crazy.
That's wild. That's wild. So how long did you know him for?
I met him freshman year of high school, like the same year I actually started rapping. We actually had a song that I wish I fucking had. It got taken on that fucking laptop that I got robbed for. And it was a Juan song of me from way back freshman year of high school. But long story short, we disconnected in high school when I transferred to my second school. We were always cool. We were always on good terms, always on good energy, But literally when we fucking, when I separated schools, we stopped talking because I went to 2 different schools. I was really tied up in whatever I was doing musically. And then college, he reached out to me and was like, honestly, the music come forward so far, And then the year he graduated, or maybe the year after or whatever, he hit me up and he's like, hey, bro, the music's come a long way. I'm thinking about moving out to Cali. And I was like, well, come visit, And then when he finally made the move out here, he stayed with me for the first week. And he even paid this girl to stay at her spot. And it was just too dirty and shit. So long story short, he ended up staying on my fucking kitchen floor. And then he made the move. He was like, I'm moving out there. Man. And then he made the move out here, and then that was like 5 years after.
That's crazy. So that was super genuine connection then. Like
absolutely.
Super genuine connection. And I don't want to speed past this. He definitely like gave you guys all some advice. Don't stay at LA girl's house if you don't know her for real.
No, don't. Absolutely
Don't
don't.
do that.
Do not do that, especially if they got an animal. This shit was nasty. Oh, it was a nice ass apartment too. It was confusing.
You're like, how's nice on the outside?
Swear to God.
Like this on the inside. This don't make no sense.
It was sickening, yo. I was like, you're in good hands, da da da. And then he's like, this bitch is fucking nasty. And I'm like, all right, well, come and stay on my couch, bro. You and your dog can just come kick it. And I'm like, yeah, my bad, bro. I honestly didn't know her like that.
Hilarious. It's hilarious.
I was like, I didn't know her like that, bro.
So, again, as respectfully as I can, man. Because I like that song that you dropped too about not about the situation, but it kind of, you got a lot off on that song.
Caught Up or
Money on It.
Oh, Money on It.
I like Money on It.
That was the one that was really about him for sure. That was like Juan's song, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was his like whoos in the background and shit from when he was around, yeah.
For real?
Yeah, there was like the ad libs, like
Yeah,
woo.
yeah,
That's what he used
him?
to do on all my songs. I took it from a video of him I have.
That's hard.
Yeah, so it's his voice on there and the beginning and the end from videos I had.
Yeah, that's super hard.
Luckily, I do document like all my fucking life for the past like.
Said my whole life.
I swear to God, since like probably 2014, I have videos all the way from then of my whole rap career and like
That's
video
crazy.
shoots and photo shoots and things like that. So yeah, I've kept a lot of it. I think it'll make for a really cool life journey, you know, like
a little documentary.
Exactly.
Drop that joint on Amazon Prime.
Facts. Nah, one day I will, for real.
Yeah. We need to see it. So, what I do want to ask though is, after going through something like that, you know, obviously you were super close to him. Like you said, he would have been that guy that was that buffer. Like, yo, I'll handle this part for you.
Yeah.
So,
always was.
After those things happen, for you, what was your mindset? Obviously, you're gonna have the shock. You're gonna have the process. Everybody has to have to grieve is different. But what was your mindset moving forward? Because obviously, I mean, I can just say for myself, recently I've lost 2 people this year, and I've had to tell myself.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. But
that's 2 people in a year in general is a big fucking loss, bro.
yeah, for sure. But what I've had to tell myself was like, you know, for me it was like hospital situation. So when you walk outside the hospital room, it's like, man, you see life still moving.
Yeah. Cars
honking, lady getting cussed out. You may have just been through some crazy stuff in there, but you come outside, bro, life is going.
Absolutely.
Life is going. So like for you, what was your mindset moving forward? Like how, and obviously still it's probably a day-to-day process, but like what's your mindset to push forward and to still be able to create and do the things that you got to do?
I think I just get inspiration from it, and I kind of I talk about it a lot. I think in general, I bring it up in like conversations that aren't even necessarily, you know, supposed to be the fucking conversation to have this in, but I think it gets brought up in a lot of my conversations, and I feel like that has helped me, you know, deal with it, kind of understand it, kind of take inspiration from, and kind of take the positives from. But in general, I mean, I just think I don't think you're allowed to let anything really stop you. There's not really like what makes you push through. You just can't really. Yeah, I mean, if you stop, everything stops. So in general, I'm just like, I don't ever think it was even an option for me to not push through. It was just a matter of how I pushed through and how often I would talk about it and how I would talk about it and how it hit me and how I can reflect on it, you know, being through it now. So I don't think it was ever a matter of like, how did I push through it? It was just like, I know that I'm going to have to keep creating. I know I can probably make a lot of art about this. Let me make sure I capitalize and make a lot of art of these emotions that I might not ever feel again. So I think it was just that, you know, that's kind of what let me stay consistent through, all that shit.
Yeah, and that's super respectful, bro. And I just wanted to ask that, one, for the people who may, you know, they may not know your story, and also for the people who may be going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know, whether they're artists or whether they're everyday person working. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to hear that from somebody who's going through the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So moving past that, once you get to LA, things are already picking up for you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question. Like, were you independent this whole time?
Yes, I never had a major label deal. I navigated the lanes by basically, I was working like It's a third-party reseller of Verizon back in the day, and that's what transferred me all the way from the East Coast out to here. It was a company called Diamond that's no longer around, but they had a mall kiosk in Cerritos, and that's when I was moving to Long Beach. So I was able to navigate through that. Then I ended up working at T-Mobile for a minute, and then I ended up transferring to another T-Mobile store and just being part-time, and then that's when I let my job go, like 6.5 years ago-ish. And yeah, since then it's just been music. But that's how I was able to navigate not ever having to sign to a major label. I've gotten little deals along the way. I've gotten little like advances on backtracks, but everything's always been independent. I never signed to a label. And after now putting my hands in, or putting my hands in fucking another entity's like control, that shit was the worst experience of my life, and unless I have really good terms, I just understand the value of being an independent artist now. I'm like, if I ever put like my destiny in the hands of another company, it just feels like setting myself up for failure. So
I feel that.
I was just like, at this point, for what I want to do and the direction I want to go and what I want to stand for, I think independent's the best, unless it was a perfect deal or it was a deal that made a lot of sense for my life. But yeah, I'm glad that I went this independent route the whole way. I just had a bunch of jobs in between to be able to fund the career and shit. So
yeah, and what's that like? Like, cause a lot of people, what you're gonna see on social media, what people are gonna show you is the highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? But when you're grinding, you're still trying to make things happen. What's that like, going to work every day and you're going home and you're seeing like, yo, my joint's going crazy right now. Like,
yeah,
but I gotta go clock in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like?
I mean, for me, that's actually a crazy thing, is I actually kind of miss, hey, knock on whatever the fuck's wood around here. Yo, that was actually I actually loved my job. I actually loved working a day job because it felt like a very raw way to make connections. If I'm already dealing with you and helping fix your phone for 30 minutes to an hour, by the end of this interaction, you're probably going to like me as a person. And if not, you out in 10 minutes. But if you do like me, chances are you're going to look into my career. And every single customer I ever dealt with at T-Mobile and Verizon, I'm like, hey, you like hip hop? Boo, boo, boo. I don't give a fuck if you're 80.
That's crazy.
I don't care if you're 10. I'm like, hey, you like hip hop? Okay, well, here, boo, boo, boo. And if I have a show in LA, like a good 20 to 40% of it will be people that I met at my job at one point when I was working a day job. So I actually kind of miss going to a day job and having the human connection of that, you know? Like, now I got to force myself to leave the house to get human interaction. So
what's the new day-to-day like then? After you quit your job, like this last 6 years, you say you got to force yourself to leave the crib. So have you set it up to where like you got everything you need in your space, like you're straight?
Yeah. I have a whole studio room, and I live like right next to a Ralph's, like walking distance, like 20 fucking steps and shit. So personally, I just everything I need is right here at Ralph's, and I have everything in my house that
That's why you D&D God.
Facts. Yo, facts. See, mad smirk. She and like, yeah, but no, dead ass. I don't leave my house. I don't need to leave my house for much. I do, and I've learned the value in leaving my house now that I'm at this point in my career and I'm at this point of life and this part of social interaction. Now I leave my house. Now I make it a thing to get a little bit of life in terms of, like, I used to, for the first 10 years of my career, just lock myself in one room and just record every single day, all day, when I was not at fucking, when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, eventually you're going to run out of stuff to talk about. Eventually you limit yourself to a certain amount of human interaction and intellectual interaction. Just like,
you start rapping about rapping.
You start rapping about rapping. That's a fucking, yeah, that's a good way to put it. But no, in general, I was just like, I need to get more life in. I need to understand, like, what people are talking about, what's out there, what this might rub me like, what this might, that type of thing. So now I think there's a good balance that I know how to still be locked in the house and just record, but I also get a good fix of social interaction so I can talk about some shit, so I can understand some more new age shit. I don't be on my phone like that, so I'm like, I gotta understand it,
Give him 2 to 3 business weeks.
Yo, everyone
holidays.
Who knows me is gonna be like, this motherfucker speaking.
Yo, so basically, bro, if they hit you now, bro, they gotta wait till February 1st.
Like something around there.
It's holidays season,
no, but
bro.
realistically, if my inbox right now, so it's the 7th, I'll probably get back to everyone either Thursday or Friday, realistically.
Okay.
If the inbox is full, on message it. I'll be like, yeah, it'll be Thursday,
Let me run
Thursday,
through 'em.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't even trip on me for it. It's just like, it is what it is.
They know.
Like, nobody, they kind of understand that, yeah.
That's how bro
They're like,
is.
hit him up a couple of business days before you might need him in a week.
And like, bro, he ain't responding. Like, oh, yeah, that's just the homie, bro. He chilling. That's
Nah,
right
and
there.
they know when I'm with anybody in person, I'm there. I'm right fucking there.
Present.
Yeah.
So, dang, we got off track a little bit. I low-key lost my thought.
It's them heavy hitters, bro.
It probably is, bro.
Y'all sick. Hey, y'all sick.
Y'all got us faded.
Y'all sick.
This is what I was going to ask. Shows.
Yeah.
I see you've been doing a few of them. Was your most recent? No, I actually don't think it was your most recent one. It was your second. Was Los Globos?
That was my most recent.
That was
because
most recent?
The whole situation happened where I had another one after that, but I had to go to emergency run to Colorado, so I had to cancel my set on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, what is shows like? Because obviously you've been doing it for a while,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you get on stage, you're probably a little more seasoned. You know how to perform. You know what you're doing. You know how to read the crowd a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give upcoming artists some game just by telling your experience of like how you approach prepping for a show and then hitting the stage?
Hey, remember your lyrics, because I can't. Yo, that's the only thing that I'm really bad at with shows. Remember your fucking lyrics. I don't know how you got to do it, but remember your lyrics going onto your show. I don't get that nervous about to go on stage. The only thing my mind's in overdrive about is remembering my lyrics. I run through my set top to bottom, and I mean, if I can give any advice from my level of performing, I would say don't run with full backing tracks. Like, do something different. Like, actually give a live performance if you have it in you and the song allows you to. But like I said, different levels. Like, even like Jay-Z couldn't just get in a huge stadium and do top to bottom without a background track. So there is accepting to it. But when you're at like a medium to small level, rock your own fucking instrumentals and, try to give the people the best show that they could possibly get out of it. Talk to them in person. I don't really, like I said, I don't really have that much nervousness about to go on the stage. It's just me remembering my lyrics. Just look at everybody in the crowd for upcoming people. Like, yo, just look at everyone in the crowd. Those are literally regular humans just like you. Nobody's there to judge you or hate on you. And if they are, they should get the fuck out. But in general, they are humans just like you. There's no reason to be nervous about performing in front of people. You had to give class presentations your whole life, so same shit.
Yeah, I like that. It's just like a class presentation.
It is. You're in a room full of, anywhere from 20 to 400 people, just either a whole class presentation or like a classroom presentation. That's all it is. So, they're all people and they all on their own journey. So fuck their judgment if they are judging. But most people aren't there to judge you.
So what's your favorite song to perform at shows? Because you got so many.
Oh, Drive You Home.
Drive You Home.
Yeah, this Drive You Home song is my favorite. It's just so simple and so smooth and so, that's my shit. I love that song.
If y'all ain't listened to it,
hey,
Drive You Home. And if y'all ain't, when's your next show?
I got one, I think, coming up on the 17th of this month. It's just a small one, 3-track set, but November 17th. Yeah.
If y'all want to see, you gonna play that joint, Drive You Home?
Hey, I'll definitely do Drive You Home.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll definitely do Drive You Home.
Y'all pull up on the 17th. Check in on bro Instagram. Make sure you go see Drive You Home. Drive You Home.
Drive You Home. Facts.
So, what's upcoming for you, bro?
I think the brinks of my first like actual project I put out. Most of the stuff I drop, it just drops as singles. And then after the singles, I put them in a compilation album, and I drop it like that to kind of, like make it organized.
That's what that was.
That's why, they're all singles,
parts.
and then I compilation. Yeah, exactly. I have Welcome. I have part 1, part 2, part 3.
Part 4.
Do I have part? Oh yeah, part
For sure
4 too. I think.
4.
And then and then I think I just want to do one. I want to do one more, like the end or conclusion of that series, and just kind of put the rest of the recent singles on there.
That's hard though. You make it like a book.
Yeah, it was a book, and this is the end. So this is like part 1 to and I already have that photo shot. I just I gotta pick what songs I'm gonna put on it, but I'm gonna put that up like the end, and then everything's just gonna go. I think I'm gonna put out my first actual project, like all in one. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I got a lot of songs stashed right now, some crazy ass shit, and I just want to finally make a fucking project. I want to put something out that's like Even if I always wanted to wait till I had like a crazier budget where I could put out like 100,000 into each song type shit. And I'm just like, honestly, now that I have this many fans and this many listeners, I'm like, they just want a fucking project. They just want something cohesive to all come out at once so they can go through it like they get to go through a Drake album or a J. Cole album. So I think right now I'm just on the works of that, just making sure that, you know, I get some type of full project out pretty soon.
When you say you want to drop an album, I have to ask, since you brought the book thing up, was that an idea that you came up with after dropping all of these songs, or was that an idea that you came up with before dropping most of these joints? Because you say you dropped the singles and then you put them into a collaboration thing.
Like a compilation album.
Yeah, so
I think that even since I ever went into my music career, I thought it out pretty far in the future in terms of like I should have something that's going to be cohesive, everything across the board. I'm kind of a neat freak like that. Like I wanted everything to be cohesive. And that's so that all came out kind of before. When I said Welcome, I was like, I'm going to do parts. And then I dropped like a 3-track project and I called it Section. So I was going to do a couple sections in between each part, and those would be the original stuff. But I ended up only doing one section. So it was like Welcome, part 1, part 2, I think, and then it was like Section 1, part 2, and then it was like and then part 3 and part 4. Yeah. And then then the end's gonna kind of conclude it. I thought about it for sure from the start. I just wasn't sure exactly how I was gonna roll it out.
That's insane, bro.
Thank you. And
that's any artists out there, bro. Think it through.
Yeah.
Think it through, bro. That's crazy.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I think it was a really cool idea, and I just got lucky.
It's like a 7-year.
I know. Yeah. It honestly, I got blessed with the fact that it came to fruition how it did, and it came out so cool. And I think they all feel kind of cohesive, even as projects that weren't all put together like a project. Yeah. You know? Like the songs feel relevant to each other to some extent, and so does the order. So. Yeah, I just got blessed with the fact that it was kind of that cohesive.
And doing that, you took your time to choose all those and put them in that order.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything's always been me for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. When you do drop your documentary from 2014 all the way up to when you drop it, you need to drop a vinyl book of these joints.
Hell yeah, that'll go crazy. I like that
vinyl book
shit,
of these
bro.
joints.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that'll
saying?
Be fire. All the
a whole,
top to bottom, like Star Wars and the records.
A real book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hard.
That would be hard.
Like a special edition, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and when I do that, I probably had to put out like a book 2, just like book 2 chapter 1 type shit, you know?
Yeah. That'd be hard. That would be hard. So before we get out of here, I always ask 3 questions.
Yeah.
3 questions. And we already touched on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one is always, what is some advice to an upcoming artist? Because obviously you've been there. But what is an advice to an upcoming artist that is just getting in the bedroom? Maybe he has his Windows computer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just has the iPad Touch or the iPod Touch. You know what I'm saying? He's just figuring out all the auto-tune on GarageBand, thinking he sounds the best. He's motivated. Like, what's some advice you can give to that guy who's just starting, just figuring out like, yo, I'm super passionate about this. I'm about to go for this. What's some advice you can give to him to not just be successful per se, but to find the right lane for him? You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy nowadays to get caught up in all the smoke and mirrors when it comes to social media and what you get inspired by.
Yeah. First of all, I think these sick motherfuckers are starting with Logic, and they already know how to work this whole shit off top, and the auto-tune's already top notch. However, and they already know the whole DAW just because they watched 2 YouTube videos. So I think it's a little bit different of a game, but generally speaking,
that's facts.
But generally speaking, the only time you're going to lose is if you're not doing it for the right reasons and you stop. That's the only time you're going to lose. This is all like reflection of self. This is all to inspire some shit that will not be inspired without you. So that's why we're here. We're here to make fucking art for people to receive. So don't be so hard on yourself about where you're at this point or anything besides what you're doing it for. Like, make sure you're doing it for yourself. You're enjoying yourself. You're having fun with this shit. The only time you actually lose. I have artist friends who have been in here for 2 years and they're fucking, Billboard, and then I have people who have been in it for 20 years and they get 1,000 streams a fucking every 10 years. It's as long as you're doing it for the right reason, you're going to figure out the rest of the shit in life. So just stick to it because you're passionate about the art or what it does for you or how it makes you feel. Fuck the rest of it. That's going to come with whatever journey is already made for you type shit. So
that's hard. That's hard. I love that because basically what you're saying is, bro, just stick to what you love. And like you said, you're going to figure it out.
You're going to figure it out. And there's not really you asked a 2-part question. The other part was like how you find out your lane or your flow. I think just by being yourself, you're going to end up around like-minded individuals and understand what you're looking up to and what you're trying to get to as an end goal. And I think that all just comes with life. I think that you should just focus on who you are as a human and be the best you can at expressing who you are as a human, and then the rest will follow. That's how I feel about it. Don't even worry about a lane. Don't worry about like where you're trying to go. Just start creating a solid product, and you'll eventually people will find you, and you'll find people, and it will just all connect how it's supposed to.
That's facts. That's facts. Obviously, I'm gonna speak from a different perspective, but I can say like that's super true just from me starting this whole podcast thing. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, it was just me sitting in front of the phone saying, "Hey, this is da 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 da." You know what I'm saying?
Now you in the studio and shit. Great lighting. All
done
this.
Like 15, 16 episodes.
Yeah.
Got a few bigger artists or engineers or whatever it may be, and it's just like it all started with just an idea. And like you said, I was just focusing on it because I like talking. I like hearing game from different people. I watch podcasts, and everything else just figured itself out.
Yeah.
Because I just stuck to I like creating content. And just keep it going. So I love that advice.
That's
I love
true,
that
though.
advice.
That's exactly how it fucking goes. The people you were supposed to work, you're going to find each other. It's going to happen how it's supposed to.
Yeah.
As long as you're passionate about what you're doing, you're in a good place. You know?
Yeah. Me and bro just ran into each other in a studio hallway.
Randomly.
Not even on the podcast. Tip I was engineering
And
somewhere.
I was there engineering, too. I wasn't even being an artist
Wait,
in
what?
that shit. That was their engineering, yeah. I do that at all those sessions. I'm like the engineer-producer of the session.
What?
Yeah.
That's hard.
Thank you,
I've
bro.
been saying that this whole interview, bro. Just been
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm just the engineer-producer of those sessions typically.
So we got to get it clear before we get out of here, though. You producer, engineer, mix and master, graphic designer, marketer, and investor.
Videographer.
Video. Put some
flex.
respect on his name.
Oh,
Videographer too.
Photographer.
Photographer. I got 2 more fingers left. You got 2 more?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Graphic designer. We can throw it in there again. Graphic designer.
Yeah.
But nah, bro.
Who designed that merch? Just one day.
Oh, merch. Hey, talk to me,
Merch.
dog. Keep gassing me up.
Hands full. As an independent artist, you're going to have your hands full. You got to play a
Facts.
bunch of different roles.
Every hat.
So my next question is going to be for the independent artists out there. Because everybody, nowadays, it's like the popular thing. You want to get a deal. But tables kind of turn. The independent thing, it's kind of like here with the record label.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for you, as somebody who's done it for a while, what's your perspective on going the independent route, obviously for somebody who may be at the crossroads? Like someone who you were when you start to get traction and you might have people hitting you up and whatever it may be. What's that advice for somebody like, this is what you're going to go through as an independent artist. So if you are going to choose this, make sure you're ready for it.
I would say, honestly, personally, just from the type of mind that I have and like who I am business-wise and how I want to run my brand, I would just be like, I'm independent for life. But there's some people who don't feel like trying to be or being the complete package in terms of having to hire your own people, having to make your own schedule, having to hire a PR, having to create your own product at all times, having to make the album artwork, having to schedule the visual and the videographer who's going to do it, having to arrange the models, having to do everything that you would possibly have to do as an artist. Some people don't like that shit. Some people would rather just be like, here's your agenda for the week and you good to go type shit. So I personally would say for me, it just works to be independent and prep yourself as an independent artist to do every single thing. Even if you don't have to because you could hire people, you should at least know what the task takes and how long it's going to take and what it might be like, because you could be getting robbed very easily as someone hiring some people in, as to a label. You don't even got to worry about that. That's all taken care of. The network is built, this, that, So if you're ready to just make all the calls. All the calls are gonna have to be made. So if you're going independent route, like just prep yourself for the at least knowledge of everything that's happening with a brand, not just the dropping of music and the photo shoots and the glamorous shit that a lot of people see music as. And as someone who's signed to a fucking label, you're gonna be in a much better situation, but you don't have the control. So, you know, definitely pick which way you feel like your personality fits best, and you're gonna live and learn. Make sure you have lawyers look over your contract.
That's the number one advice right there.
Had to get it in there at some point.
Make sure you got lawyers that look over your contract.
That you trust, not somebody just from the
not
label.
Not the label's
like,
lawyers.
Find
Please,
a music lawyer just because, and just even connect with them. Shoot them a DM like, hey, I saw your work. Hopefully someday we could do business together. Just get them in your pocket before you're at a major label, at a major level where you're gonna have to look, and the label might already have their hands on them. So build you some relationship with some music lawyers.
Build you some relationships. I'm going to just take that right there, too, because you talked about that a lot earlier. Build you some relationships, yo.
100%.
Send a little DM. Like he said, get a couple people in your pocket, in your corner, before you actually get to a stage to where you're going to have to make these big decisions, and you might be all alone, and it might be, you know, people leading you the wrong way because they know you green. You don't know anything. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that before the heavy part hits, for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
the heavy part.
Word the heavy hitters, I was going to say.
So my last question is to you, bro, and for everybody out there, please pay attention. When is the next we're going to hear from you, whether it's a song, whether it's a show, whether it's that album you want to put together? When can we expect it?
I mean, an album, I would say before March of 2024, I would say a single probably in the next 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that, then 2 weeks after
Oh,
that.
you're not playing?
No. I'm going to keep dropping. That's just how, as an independent artist, we stay afloat, and we can always eat if big things aren't landing playlists. So we're going to keep dropping. Keep dropping, non-fucking stop.
Yeah. And make sure y'all go check out his most recent drop. Or were you a feature on that joint? Is that yours? Or
I was a
you
feature, but you could listen to it because it's a cool little verse. But the one before that is just mine. But yeah, hey, there's one coming every 2 weeks. So I don't know when you're seeing this, but essentially every 2 weeks. Sink or Swim is my latest one. And I got a verse on that. That's somebody else's song, but I'm a main on it. So you could definitely check that out.
Bet. And so just to be clear, before we get out of here, can you tell them exactly where to get your socials, your music, and all that so they can check out what you were just talking about?
Hell yeah, I've been waiting for this moment all night. No, but for real, it's just ROWLAN on everything, just ROWLAN. Yeah, check me out, Spotify, fucking Instagram, TikTok. Check my shit out. I got a bunch on the way. I promise you it will be consistent all year, so let's go.
Definitely consistent. The man gets millions of streams each year, so you got to be consistent in order to do that. So please, I'm not going to lie, bro. When I was going through your catalog, bro, I was kind of messed up. I'm not going to lie to you.
Too much? Too many songs?
It was just like, it was the songs, but then it was just like the consistency, not just of the drop, but obviously the people that are listening to you. You know what I'm saying?
That, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, it's wild. And the music's dope. Dope. Like, I would actually put it in my playlist. Music's dope.
I appreciate the actually putting it in your playlist. Yeah, we 72 million plays in on Spotify. Let's keep it fucking streaming. Listen to the music. Rolling.
Ain't nothing else to say. 72 million plays. Check them out. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Yotta Talk. You already know what it is. In 2 weeks, we'll be dropping another one. Stay tuned. Peace.
She wanna leave, she want me part in the seas. Told her I'm busy as bees.